The Guidestones are not satanic. More than likely, they came from a Rosicrucian order.
So the Georgia Guidestones got blown up. But would you finally like to know who built it? Contrary to it being some big Illuminati plot, the Guidestones were actually designed and built and funded by one guy. That person was Dr. Herbert Kirsten from Fort Dodge, Iowa. Now I get it, this is completely different information than what you've been told, so let me get you there. Dr. Kirsten was a medical doctor. He was a polymath. He was interested in many different things, and he fancied himself some kind of super conservationist. So much so that he actually wrote and published a book with the help of another gentleman in Iowa. That book was called Common Sense Renewed, and it was published with the help of a publisher in Fort Dodge, Iowa by the name of Robert Merriman. Common Sense Renewed is largely unknown as a book, but it is the companion manual to the Georgia Guidestones and speaks about them extensively. The Guidestones were actually built in Georgia with the aid of several mediators that were local to the area. Those mediators were being contacted by Robert Merriman and R.C. Christian, the supposed builder of the Guidestones. But R.C. Christian was writing out of the same address as Dr. Herbert Kirsten. There's a documentary that goes over all of this information in depth. It's called Dark Clouds Over Elberton. It was made, I believe, in 2010 and published in 2015, and it's still on Amazon. They do a much better job about explaining it than I can, but just suffice to say that these are the two guys that are behind the Guidestones. There is one very interesting link with Dr. Kirsten, and that pertains to a document that was found at a local company in Elberton, Georgia. That document describes a very interesting connection between the Rosicrucian Society and the Guidestone Monument. So let me just read some of that for you. Contained herein are the keys that have been awaited to be placed here in proper sequencing and in proper order to announce the return and the activation of those events of prophecy that signal these events. Those who have guarded this great mystery and who have guarded the evolution of the human species itself are returning. It has begun. This presentation of keys upon the finding of it is to be delivered to the Elberton Star. The Elberton Star is to deliver it to the Atlanta Rosicrucian Society. The Rosicrucian contact number is 1. The number is derived from the synchronistic mystery of 404-294-4172 in Atlanta. It is only those with the understand of the rose and its return who will be capable of deciphering the codes and the keys that are contained herein. Unto this great mystery shall it in due time be unveiled, likened unto she whose great portal reads only, Know thyself. Unto the unveiling of her wisdom shall come indeed the bridegroom, bearing the perfect knowledge of the blending of the red, the white, to bring forth the gold, and thus the purity of the rose. It shall bloom again. This monument has now been activated by that which was to come forth unto its activation and technological understanding, and many shall come forth unto this portal to awaken and thus be activated. You are greatly loved, mankind. Once we saw through the glass darkly, but shall see face to face. Do not fear. We are with you through the coming changes. A few things jump out about this, and it was written by an educated mind, but it's got a lot of misspellings and a lot of references to various numerology, which would lead me to believe that this contains a cipher. Likewise, it refers to the Atlanta Rosicrucian Society, which is interesting because that's not the Rosicrucian order in California is the Rosicrucian order. The Rosicrucian Society, the Societas Rosicruciana, is a Masonic organization that you need to be a Christian Master Mason to join. I'm not a Mason, so I really don't have a lot of knowledge about this society or if there is one in Atlanta, but it seems to have its phone number on this document and at least some sort of pass. We've got some great Masonic scholars on this app, so I'm going to tag Widows Miho, and buddy, if you can track down the Atlanta Rosicrucian Society, if they even exist, the phone number, and see what the alchemical references are pertaining to in the Georgia Guidestones, I'm sure we would love to see that. So though we have a link to the man who got the ball rolling for the Georgia Guidestones, we still don't know if this Dr. Herbert Kirsten was a member of a Rosicrucian society, and whether the Georgia Guidestones themselves were put together as an initiation center, a place where people could come to be activated and awakened to an alchemical wedding, as these documents would seem to suggest. And if that's the case, their destruction is a real tragedy. For anybody who'd like to dig deeper, check out the documentary I mentioned, Dark Skies Over Elberton. The Rosicrucian document, as well as the book from R.C. Christian / Herbert Kirsten, are going to be on my website. So go check those out, join the mailing list, and we'll keep digging.